Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the regularly scheduled meeting of the Board of Public Works for today, Wednesday, June 8th, 2016.
Commissioner Davis, Rodriguez, James, and Jacinto are present. President James, we have a quorum. May we start with Bureau introductions, please, starting with Bureau of Contract Administration.
Good morning, Hannah Choi, Bureau of Contract Administration.
Good morning, Ruben Flamenco, Bureau of Street Lighting.
Good morning, Craig Shaw, Bureau of Street Services.
Good morning, Hassan Rod, Bureau of Sanitation.
Good morning, Reza Shamirzadi, Bureau of Engineering.
Good morning, Ted Jordan, Public Works General Counsel.
Fernando Campos, Executive Officer. President James, we do not have any speaker cards under general public comment, nor do we have any comments under the Neighborhood Council new ordinance, nor any of the regular items.
Okay, then we'll close general public comment. Let's start with our first item of business, the approval of the meeting minutes from the meeting of Wednesday, May 18, 2016. Is there a second to my motion to approve those meeting minutes by Commissioner Rodriguez? Any objection? Without objection, we will approve those meeting minutes. Agenda item, let's go ahead and take care of a quick administrative item, two of them. First of all, agenda item number 12, L&A Concrete Structures Incorporated has transmitted a stop notice in the amount of $119,096.87 in connection with the North Outfall Sewer, Unit 2, Western Avenue to Vermont Avenue, and Unit 5, San Pedro Street to Hooper Avenue projects. The contractor is Spinello Companies. Is there a second to my motion that we approve agenda item number 12 forthwith by Commissioner Rodriguez? Any objection? Without objection, we will do so. Colleagues, it's been requested by the respective bureaus, MTA and DOT, that the oral report that is agenda item number 13 be taken off calendar and continued to a later time. So we will do that. They'll get us a new date. Agenda item number 1, bids received on 3 public works projects. Mr. Campos.
Thank you, Mr. President. Fernando Campos, Executive Officer. The bids to be received today are threefold. The first bid to be received is for the Maintenance Hole Resetting Sewer Storm Drain Project, acronyms SSDMHRES. This is in all council districts. The city has estimated the project to be at $3,506,500. The first bid received for the first project is from MNR Construction Incorporated for a total bid amount of $4,455,250 even. That's 4455250 from MNR Construction Incorporated. Mary Nancy Richard. The second bid received for the first project is from Manhole Adjusting Incorporated for a total bid amount of $3,761,380 even. That's 3761380 from Manhole Adjusting Incorporated. The third and final bid received for the first project is from All American Asphalt for a total bid amount of $3,097,925 even. That is 3097925 from All American Asphalt. President James, that concludes the bid openings for the first project. The second project we will open up bids for is for the Sun Valley North Hollywood Series to Multiple High Voltage Conversion for fiscal year 2015-2016 for street lighting projects. This is in Council District 2 and 6. The city has estimated this project to be at $1,666,000 even. The first bid received for the second project is from Elecnor Belco Electric Incorporated. Let me repeat that one more time. Elecnor, E-L-E-C-N-O-R, Belco Electric Incorporated, for a total bid amount of $2,063,886 even. That's 2063886 from Elecnor Belco Electric Incorporated. The second bid received for the second project is from Select Electric Incorporated. For a total bid amount of $1,886,763 even. That's 1886763 from Select Electric Incorporated. For the record, line item 10 and 12 has been lined out by the contractor and initialed. The third bid received for the second project is from Fodrill Construction Incorporated. That's Foddrill. For a total bid amount of $1,563,705 even. That's 1563705 from Fodrill Construction Corporation. The fourth bid received for the second project is from Ferreira Construction Company, Incorporated, doing business as Ferreira Coastal Construction Company. For a total bid amount of $1,928,644 even. That's 1928644 from Ferreira Coastal Construction Company. The fifth and final bid received for the second project is from KDC Incorporated, doing business as Dynalectric. For a total bid amount of $1,736,258 even. That's 1736258 from KDC Incorporated, doing business as Dynalectric. For the record, the total amount of the bid has been lined out but initialed by the contractor. President James, that concludes the bid openings for the second project. The third project we will open up bids for is for Reseda Arleta Series to Multiple High Voltage Conversion for fiscal year 2015-2016 street lighting projects. This is in Council District 2, 3, 6, and 12. The city has estimated the project to be at $1,273,100 even. The first bid received for the third project is from, Yakar, Y-A-K-A-R. My apologies if I did not pronounce that correctly. The total bid amount is $1,741,065 even. That's 1741065 from Yakar, Y-A-K-A-R. The second bid for the third project is from Ferreira Construction Company, Incorporated, doing business as Ferreira Coastal Construction Company, for a total bid amount of $1,543,480 even. That's 1543480 from Ferreira Coastal Construction Company. The third bid for the third project is from Select Electric Incorporated, for a total bid amount of $1,419,493. That's 1419493 from Select Electric Incorporated. For the record, line item 22 has been lined out and initialed by the contractor. The fourth bid received for the third project is from Elecnor Belco Electric Incorporated, for a total bid amount of $1,485,064 even. That's 1485064 from Elecnor Belco Electric Incorporated. The fifth bid received for the third project is from Fodrill Construction Corporation, for a total bid amount of $1,277,415 even. That's 1277415 from Fadril Construction Corporation. My apologies. Fadril Construction Corporation. The sixth and final bid for the third project is from KDC Incorporated, doing business as Dynalectric, for a total bid amount of $1,298,671 even. That's 1298671 from KDC Incorporated, doing business as Dynalectric. President James, that concludes the bid openings for the third project and all bid openings for today's agenda.
Thank you, Mr. Campos. Is there a second to my motion that we receive the bids forthwith? By Commissioners Rodriguez and Davis. Any objection? Without objection, we will do so. Thank you, Mr. Campos. One moment. Agenda item number 2, Bureau of Engineering, requesting the mayor authorize the board to approve and execute a sole source contract with E2020 Technology to provide a bureau-wide program management system and a document control system for an amount of $2.5 million, which includes contingency for a period of 5 years for the Bureau of Engineering. Mr. Cirillo.
Good morning, Mike Cirillo, Bureau of Engineering. I'm here to request your approval for a E2020 sole source contract for a document control system to manage all of our design and construction aspects that the Bureau handles. For example, we use this system to track and monitor documents as we process design documents to consultants. We also use it for contractors to route various documents back and forth to contractors, such as change orders, RFIs, correspondence, submittals, and so forth. And it's saving us considerable time because we're able to electronically sign off on documents, review and approve without having to do any kind of hard routing of any copies, and even the distribution of the final executed document is all done through the E2020 system. The contractors have also expressed their liking towards the system, and I think that helps encourage the contracting community to do business with us because we make it easy to process all document flow during the construction contract. It's also a web-based system which allows us to access it anywhere, and we are also pilot testing it on mobile phones and tablets, which means we'll be able to remotely process documents from anywhere. So in January, we came to the board and we requested the approval of a sole source of E2020, and the board authorized us to start negotiations with E2020. They're currently working on 8 of our programs for a cost of $332,000 a year, which is about $40,000 per program. We've negotiated expanding the use of E2020 throughout the Bureau to our 20-plus programs, at a cost of about $418,000 a year, which translates to about $20,000 a program. So essentially, by expanding the E2020 software throughout the whole Bureau, the cost per program is cut in half from $40,000 roughly to $20,000. And the beauty about the E2020 system is we're able to add additional programs and projects as the need arises through the next 5 years, without any need to increase the fee structure at all. Some of the other platforms we looked at charged on a per license basis or a per project basis. E2020 basically just charges a lump sum fee, and it's an unlimited system for unlimited users and projects, which made it a very attractive system to us. We have about $4 billion of active projects, so that translates to about 0.01% of cost for this system. And it's a 5-year contract, so what we plan on doing is about halfway through, because the technology changes very rapidly, we would assess other platforms that are available on the market at that time to see if there's something that might be better before we lock ourselves into another long-term agreement. And the last thing I want to mention is E2020 is a registered MBE with the City of LA. I'll take any questions you may have.
And Mike, just so the record's clear, the board report is clear. It has an attachment, obviously. The authority to negotiate the contract, the sole source contract, was approved back in January.
Yes, it was.
Okay.
It was.
Commissioner Rodriguez?
Thank you, Mike, for your comprehensive presentation on this. As I recall, there's just incredible value in terms of our ability to manage these projects effectively with all the paperwork that is involved. And it presents an incredible amount of efficiencies in our ability to actually deliver these projects on time, under budget. And so I just wanted to make sure that the record reflected, given I know the size and scale of the expenditure associated with this, the return on the investment in terms of making maximum and best use of our taxpayer dollars for these huge public projects is very important. That said, I also want to recognize the fact that this is an MBE, which is great, and I'm just glad that the Bureau took the effort and time and care, and which I fully expected would happen on something like this, to really test it and to make sure that this was the most viable product out there. But more importantly, I also just want to commend the staff and the Bureau for really looking at that we're not going to lock ourselves into a longer term given the evolution of technology. And so I really want to make sure that going forward we do continue to exercise. It can be easy to get locked into something out of comfort, but just to consider what other alternatives might be out there. But I think this is an example of doing it right. And so I just wanted to make that comment.
Thank you.
Commissioner Jacinto. Thank you,
Commissioner
Commissioner
James.
Rodriguez.
Commissioner Rodriguez, thank you for your comments, your questions, and the points that you raised. Mike, thanks for this report. It is exciting because to get cloud-based, to save and create efficiency. I don't want to put you on the spot, but I do want to put you on the spot. How many, what is the percentage when you say time, and this is not anything set in stone, but is there a quantification on how much time we could save by having electronic signatures? Is there?
I would have to, I don't have an exact figure for you, but I mean, I would say roughly 25-30% time savings in processing documents. I mean, if I had to guess,
For the
just off
processing
cuff.
scope of work,
Yeah,
25,
the time
30%, which is
it
significant.
took before to make copies and hand carry them back and forth and all that, you're saving considerable time, along with the fact that now you can, in the system, modify documents on the fly. So as they come through the review process, each person that edits that document can do them right in the system. So it adds up to a lot of time savings of processing documents. And anytime we can save time, it translates to saving money, right? So.
Exactly. Thanks, Mike. And the fact that we could scale up without adding additional costs is
right.
excellent, is a plus
That's
as
right.
well. So good work. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Any further questions on number 2? I don't have any questions or motion on number 2 by Commissioner Rodriguez, seconded by Commissioner Jacinto. Any objection? Without objection, we'll adopt agenda item number 2. Any problem saying number 2 forthwith? We'll send number 2 forthwith. Thank you, sir. Agenda item number 3, Bureau of Engineering for Council District 12. Recommending the board execute a relinquishment to rights in future street lot 1, track 24409 in connection with the Reseda Boulevard southerly of Halsted Street, relinquishing any and all rights to the City of Los Angeles for public street purposes, subject to conditions. Dale Williams.
Good morning, Commissioners. Dale Williams, Bureau of Engineering. Item 3 is the Bureau of Engineering's recommendation to relinquish a future street easement located at 9534 Reseda Boulevard. This future street easement was created when the track map recorded in 1960. At that time, there was a potential for a street to be built between Halsted and Plummer Streets, and as a result, future street easements were dedicated with the track maps as they recorded in the area. Over the years, as the pattern of land use changed, most of that easement was eliminated through the recordation of new track maps for condominiums, et cetera. However, on this lot, it does still remain that future street easement. It's isolated, not connected to any other future street easement, and has never been improved as a street. Due to the fact that 25 years have passed since it was recorded and the city has never accepted it, the city can no longer accept the right-of-way, and therefore it does meet the criteria to be relinquished, so the Bureau of Engineering does recommend for relinquishment.
Okay, thank you, sir. Before we go further, Mr. Spindler, you have a card on number 3 as listed as Mr. Dude.
Yes, Mr. Dude. Well, the person in the CD12, yeah, $1.5 million later finishes 5th at his race for the Board of Supervisors. I'm sure nobody's here from his office today. Is that correct? Anybody here from CD12? No. Why? They're running for the hills, that's why. Mr. Reserve Officer. So, what does Reserve Officer Mitchell Englander want to do with this? Did you get a report from Reserve Officer Mitchell Englander? Because after all, Reserve Officer Mitchell Englander is a public safety expert. Does he want to relinquish a right-of-way that may be needed for ambulances, police, and fire? Because after all, public safety expert Reserve Officer Mitchell Englander, not police officer, Reserve Officer Mitchell Englander, wanted to have this for public safety. But I don't see anybody here talking about public safety. So I don't think since 1960, what is that? 55, 56 years later, you haven't done your bookkeeping in 56 years. You haven't bothered to bookkeep to get Clouds Untitled removed. You guys are half a century behind the 8 ball. Stop illegally arresting people, stop shooting witnesses in federal crimes, and get to the business. This should have been done decades ago. Absolutely, I support this item. Do it. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Spindler. Any questions for Mr. Williams on agenda item number 3? Is there a motion on number 3? By Commissioner Jacinto, seconded by Commissioner Rodriguez. Any objection? Without objection, we'll adopt agenda item number 3. Any issues saying number 3 forthwith? We'll send number 3 forthwith. Thank you, Mr. Williams. Agenda item number 4, Bureau of Engineering for Council District 2, recommending that the board authorize the city engineer to acquire a 10-foot wide permanent street easement denoted by parcel number 7A on the property with assessor's parcel number 2337-038-005, commonly known as 11303 Burbank Boulevard, North Hollywood, California, 91601, as required for the completion, and 2, request that the Director of the Bureau of Accounting, Los Angeles Department of Transportation, draw a demand in the amount of $50,000 payable to the property owner, DeRose Wayne P. and Michelle DeRose Trust, to cover the cost of acquiring a permanent street easement needed in connection with the Burbank Boulevard to Lankershim Boulevard to Cleon Avenue project right-of-way, number 33714-7A. Mr. Spindler, listed as Mr. Dude, has a play card on number 4, it appears.
Yes. So yes, make your check for $50,000 payable to me, Wayne. Just put Wayne on it. Because I have an LLC, I have a DBA. Yes, $50,000 payable to yours truly. Just put Wayne from Encino, because that's going to be the down payment for the 7 figures you're going to pay me after Friday. Things are going to happen in the courts. Section PC 118, you want to look that up. Anybody know what that is? PC Section 118? Perjury. So when you go to a court and you obtain documents under court seal and you do so under perjury and you know about it for a month, you're suborning perjury. So $50,000, yes, would be a good start to a down payment of what you're going to be paying for not only me, but the $74 million that you're going to be paying in the civil case, not in addition to the witness you murdered by LAPD who was testifying in that case, which I'll get to in a few minutes. So $50,000, that's the least of your problems. $50,000 is a piss in the bucket. We're talking about hundreds of millions of dollars of liability. and you want to pay a lousy $50,000 for a demand, well, it's a good start. But start putting some more zeros because you don't have enough zeros. You don't have enough zeros for what you're going to be paying. And this, for an easement for $50,000, that's chicken crap. Should be $55,000, it should be $500,000. So just add another zero. Give these nice people $500,000. It's good for the economy.
Thank you, Mr. Spindler. Mr. Nyoku. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Board. Good morning, President. My name is Oke Njoko. I'm representing the Real Estate Division of the Bureau of Engineering. This is about the Burbank Boulevard, Lancashire Boulevard to Cleon Avenue, street widening project. We are asking that the board authorize the city engineer to request the director of Bureau of Accounting, Los Angeles County Metropolitan Transportation Authority, to make a demand in the amount of $50,000 payable to the DeRose family, Wen P. and Michelle DeRose. This parcel is a permanent street easement, and it is one of 19 we are acquiring in order to widen 0.7 mile of that street to a highway standard. So we are requesting that that you authorize the city engineer to make a request to the DOT accounting for the amount of money.
Thank you. I would just note that the board report indicates that the negotiated price is consistent with the appraisal done by the Bureau of Engineering and the Real Estate Division. Any questions regarding agenda item number 4? I don't have any questions. Thank you, sir. Is there a motion on number 4 by Commissioner Jacinto, seconded by Commissioner Davis? Any objection? Without objection, we will adopt agenda item number 4. Any problem sending it forthwith? We'll send number 4 forthwith. Agenda item number 5, Bureau of Engineering and Bureau of Contract Administration for Council District 14, recommending that the board authorize the city engineer to issue a construction task order to Skanska, Stacy, and Whitbeck, a joint venture, from the construction manager general contractor contract to complete the right-of-way phase site preparation in connection with the 6th Street Viaduct Replacement Project in the amount of $1,881,000. It's a federal project, of course. Julia Moy. Oh, Julia, I'm sorry. One moment. Mr. Spindler, listed as Mr. Dude, has a card on number 5.
So what we're going to do is be very quiet about this. This is involving federal dollars, federal contract. So we got to cross our T's and dot our I's because we're dealing with a federal contract and federal government. So when you do something wrong with the federal government, they don't go to Charlie Beck or Kamala Harris or over to our DA that just won her 3rd term. You go to 3 initials, FBI, and you want to make sure that you don't do anything wrong, because if you start cheating the federal government on a project, especially when there's a grand jury already impaneled against Nuri Martinez getting ready to indict her, if you do anything wrong, if you cross the wrong date, you're going to get the scrutiny of the FBI, and you don't want to do that. You don't want to bother them because they're busy in doing other things. So, is it really $1,881,000? Well, we hope so. I hope that's the correct amount. I hope that that's the correct amount. In fact, let us pray. Dear Lord, let this be the correct amount of money. Let us not cheat the federal government, especially in this time of need. In the name of the Lord and the Savior, amen. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Spindler. On number 5, Ms. Moy.
Hi, good morning. Julia Moy with the Bureau of Engineering, 6th Street Viaduct Division. I'm very excited to bring to you this morning a request for award of Package C. This is the third of 4 anticipated right-of-way packages we'll be awarding for the project for a dollar value of $1,881,000 to Skanska, Stacy, and Whitbeck, a joint venture. So the scope of this particular right-of-way package includes, number 1, utility relocation of a DWP communication line along Santa Fe in conflict with the upcoming viaduct demolition work. In addition, 3 buildings will be demolished as a part of this right-of-way package. One on the west bank and at the west abutment of the bridge along Santa Fe, where we'll be doing demolition in the fall. And then we also have 2 buildings that are in conflict in the Boyle Heights area that are in conflict with the new viaduct alignment that we'll be demolishing prior to construction of the viaduct in those locations. Finally, as a part of this package, we'll be installing a parking lot for Ace Beverage, a local business that's impacted by the project. We advertised this package with a DBE goal of 12%, and I'm happy to report the contractor pledged 17.49%, over 5% more than we had anticipated. I am happy to answer any questions.
Any questions for Ms. Moy? I don't have any questions. Is there a motion by Commissioner Davis, seconded by Commissioner Ascento? Any objection? Without objection, we'll adopt agenda item number 5. Any issue sending it forthwith? We'll send it forthwith. Thank you, Julia. As the project continues, agenda item number 6, Bureau of Sanitation, Bureau of Contract Administration for Council District 11, requesting the mayor and the city council authorize the board to execute proposed amendment number 2 to a personal services contract with Ballard Marine Construction Incorporated, also known as Diving and Salvage Incorporated, for the Hyperion Water Reclamation Plant outfall annual inspections. The amendment will authorize the Bureau of Sanitation to A, extend the existing 5-year contract for 2 additional years with 2 one-year renewal options, B, modify the contract to include 1-mile outfall internal inspections and other diving services, and 3, increase the total contract cost ceiling from $425,000 to $1,025,000. And Mr. DeFetto, before we get to you, Mr. Spindler has a card on number 6 listed here as Mr. Dude.
There we go. 6 figures wasn't enough. When we roll here, we roll 7-figure numbers. $1,025,000. Yes, now that's a lot better. Because we're not talking 6-figure stuff now. We're dealing with the 7-figure stuff now. That's very good. What are we going to do with Ballard Marine? Who cares? It stimulates the economy to give the nice man over $1 million. To do what? To get in a diving suit and dive down and look for what? Look for any fecal material that the Tillman inspection plant failed to catch. Because you know what happens with that plant. No matter how much money you spend, it keeps fucking up. It keeps dumping waste into the water. It keeps washing up on the beach, needles after needles, after needles, after tampon, after tampon, after can of paint. I don't know, you just can't get that darn thing to work to get that goddamn waste collected so it doesn't go out into the ocean. I don't know what it is. What's wrong? Everybody else catches it, but the Tillman plant and this Hyperion, they just can't catch it. It just has holes in it. I guess there's just holes in it, right? You just keep spending all that money and digging that money into this useless piece of crap, this Hyperion water reclamation plant. You just keep, and then the insurance company, you got to keep going to insurance company. It's Environmental Waste, CEQA, and OSHA. And Cal OSHA's not coming out here and indicting the city of Los Angeles for polluting the water. How come Cal OSHA's not here? Why? Because they're all on the take. They're all on the take. So what we need to do is get a new president and we need to get the EPA, we need to shut down the high period water reclamation plant and ask Ballard Marine Construction, can you start plugging the holes so it catches the sewage so it doesn't go into the ocean? That's all we want. We just don't want it in the ocean. But you guys keep dumping waste into the water. I don't understand this. You can't do it. So do it for the dolphins. Do it for the orcas. That's a dolphin saying, please stop dumping contaminated needles into the ocean, because the kids are tired of walking on these needles. You know what I mean? They're tired of stepping on these needles.
Thank you, Mr. Spindler. Mr. DeFetta on agenda item number 6.
Good morning, President James, Board Commissioners, Bureau Executive, Mr. Jordan, and Mr. Executive Officer. My name is Tim DeFetta with the Bureau of Sanitation, LA Sanitation. I'm here today on an item on Ballard diving. It's an existing 5-year contract that we're asking for an extension, 2 years plus 2 1-year renewals. As part of our NPDES permit for the Hyperion treatment plant, we have 2 outfalls, the 1-mile outfall and the 5-mile outfall. So as part of our permit from the Regional Water Quality Control Board, we are required to inspect those outfalls, so basically make sure that they're in good working condition, establish the conditions around the outfalls, videotape that, and give a report to the regional board every March of every year. So this contract basically fulfills that. So we had been working on an amendment that should be going out shortly. So because of the issues regarding getting the amendment in a timely, in the RFP in a timely manner, we're proceeding now to basically amend the contract. And so amendment number 2, and then that will give us enough time to issue an RFP. The original contractor, Ballard, was selected through an RFP process. This is very specialized work, so you have very few firms that bid for this kind of work. So when we had the original RFP, we basically had 2 qualified bidders. And this time around, we're hoping that we get more, but generally because of the nature of the work that's involved here, we don't expect you're going to have too many people bidding on this project. In addition, the difference here is under the existing contract, the annual amount that we paid was $90,000 a year. We're increasing this to $150,000 a year, and the reason for this increase is basically issues that we learned from the events of last year. So we know now that there are times that we may have to inspect internally within the outfalls. So under the existing contract, we never did internal inspections, we did external. So we add in the provision to be able to do internal inspections now, and then also the ability to be able to install nets at the mouth of the terminus of the 1-mile outfall. So those are the increases that the additional work that's added here that now has resulted in the annual increases. So.
Mr. DeFetta, the board report on page 3 references the time estimate, if I understand it briefly, on issuing the new RFP. What do you think the timeline is that the Bureau needs to get through the RFP process, given what you know about the field?
In essence, that's why we've kind of structured the extension to be for 2 years with 2 1-year renewals. So we're basically looking at if we can have the RFP done and a contract awarded in 2 years, then we would not have to use the 2 additional 1 years. But if for any reason we go beyond 2 years, that's why we've done it 1 and 1. So hopefully if we go beyond 2, by the 3rd year, that process should be complete. So the RFP, essentially, this is it. It's essentially done. We have to circulate it back to Bureau of Contract Administration before we come back to the board.
Okay. Any other questions for Mr. DeFetta? Is there a second to my motion that we adopt agenda item number 6 by Commissioner Ascento? Any objection? Without objection, we'll adopt agenda item number 6. Any issue sending it forthwith?
Okay, thank you very much.
We'll send number 6 forthwith. Thank you, Mr. DeFetta. Agenda item at number 7. Bureau of Sanitation and Office of Accounting are requesting board approval and execution of an authority for expenditure in the amount of $91,560 to pay the United States Army Corps of Engineers for administrative services, engineering reviews, and permitting fees in connection with the lease extension for the Donald C. Tillman Water Reclamation Plant. Kwasi Burko. Go ahead, sir.
Good morning. My name is Kwasi Berko from LA Sanitation. This is to request your approval for authority for expenditure in the amount of $91,560 to be paid to the United States Army Corps of Engineers for administrative fees and for engineering reviews related to the renewal of the lease of the land on which the Donald C. Tillman Water Reclamation Plant is situated. So a little bit of a background. The Donald C. Tillman Water Reclamation Plant is situated in the Sepulveda Flood Control Basin on land that is controlled by the United States Army Corps of Engineers. This land was leased for a 50-year period in 1969, and the lease is due for renewal in October 2019. Since 2012, we've been working with the Army Corps and negotiating towards the renewal of this lease. And at this point, we have submitted several engineering and technical documents to them for their review. And the authority for expenditure will go towards the staff administrative cost in the reviews. We're planning to have this wrapped up in 2017, around October, to have the lease renewed. So with that, I'll take your questions.
Any questions on agenda item number 7? Okay, is there a motion on number 7? By Commissioner Rodriguez. I'll second it. Any objection? Without objection, we'll adopt agenda item number 7. Any issue sending it to this forthwith? We'll send number 7 forthwith. Thank you, Mr. Burko.
Thank you.
Agenda item number 8, a motion, Bureau of Sanitation and Office of Accounting, requesting board approval and an execution of authority for expenditure in the amount of $25,956 and letter of agreement with Consolidated Electrical Distributors Incorporated, doing business as Royal Wholesale Electric, for comprehensive preventative maintenance services of the Hyperion Treatment Plant Supervisory Control and Data Acquisition Systems, our SCADA systems. George Montueras. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. George Santiveros, Hyperion Water Reclamation Plant. Hyperion is requesting for the approval of authority of expenditures in the amount of $25,000 and letter of agreement with Consolidated Electrical Distributors. Consolidated Electrical Distributors purchased Royal Wholesale Electric, which used to do the services for the SCADA systems. Late last year, Consolidated purchased Royal Wholesale, and the services that we are requesting for is for December 2015 to June, end of June 2016. We haven't paid Consolidated Electric Distributors because they have not dealt with the city before, so they had to do documentation, BTRC, and the other contract requirements. That resulted to the delay in processing. They only were able to accomplish all this documentation late April this year. So that was the reason for the delay for the request.
Any questions for Mr. Hontiveros? Have any questions? I'll make a motion that we adopt agenda item number 8. Is there a second by Commissioner Davis? Any objection? Without objection, we'll adopt agenda item number 8. Any issues sending it forthwith? We'll send number 8 forthwith. Thank you, sir. Agenda item number 9, the motion, Bureau of Contract Administration and Office of Accounting, requesting board approval and execution of an authority for expenditure in the amount of $40,000 to pay Intravision Communications Corporation for digital advertisements for 4 weeks in connection with the minimum wage ordinance outreach program. Yono Hong.
Good morning, Commissioners. Yona Hong from Bureau of Contract Administration. This agenda item, Authority of Expenditure for Entravision Communications Corporation, is for the digital advertisement. They will be doing the digital advertisement on various websites, targeting certain demographics and as well as age groups who are most likely to be affected by the city's minimum wage.
Any questions about what we're doing on the digital advertisement front? Commissioner Rodriguez on agenda item number 9.
Hi. How much of the budget is reflected here in this effort as part of this $40,000 expenditure? What is the larger amount, and how is that all being parsed out for all the variety of outreach efforts? In terms of this is digital communications.
Right.
What are some of the other expenditures?
Right. We're looking at about $200,000, and $40,000 is for this digital advertisement portion. We've done 2 runs on the newspaper advertisement on like 18, 19 different ethnic newspapers covering different ethnic groups. We're also looking at the radio advertisement, which is the next agenda item. We're also doing the bus benches and bus shelters.
Okay. Yeah, I just wanted to make sure that we're making the maximum use of an opportunity to leverage our dollars effectively. We do a lot of communications pieces, and so I just want to make sure we get the most value for the money that's being allocated and maximizing all of the opportunities that we have with a number of our partners to make sure that we're hitting all of our marks with our communications efforts. So, okay.
Thank you, Commissioner Rodriguez. Commissioner Cinto.
Thank you. Thank you for your report. Will the digital advertisements also be in multiple languages?
Yes, it will be translated. The vendor Entravision will do the translation in Asian languages as well as Spanish, and there will be English
Since you mentioned it, do we know which languages, which targeted Asian languages?
I believe Korean, Chinese, Thai, Vietnamese, and English and Spanish.
Which makes sense based on the amount of small businesses in those communities that would be affected by the...
Correct.
So that sounds
yes,
right.
They're targeting certain group of community as well.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Cinto. Any further questions? Is there a motion on agenda item number 9 with Commissioner Cinto, seconded by Commissioner Rodriguez? Any objection? Without objection, we'll adopt agenda item number 9. Any problem sending it forthwith? We'll send number 9 forthwith. Agenda item number 10, also a motion from the Bureau of Contract Administration and the Office of Accounting, requesting board approval and execution of an authority for expenditure in the amount of $41,200 to pay J-Corp Communications Company Corp. for radio and digital advertisements for 4 weeks in support of the minimum wage ordinance outreach program. Mr. Spindler, listed as Mr. Dude, you have a card on number 10.
Yes. Yeah, I think you'd approve that. After all, one of the most honest, truthful people in the world I've ever met. How about you? Well, you got to watch out for things like this, But let's be honest. We need to tell businesses it's time to leave Los Angeles. It's over. It's over. They got to start packing up and leaving. I'm sorry, but you got to tell the people the truth that you can't open a business here in this city, because if you're paying $15 an hour, then you got to pay off the cops, then you got to pay off the building inspectors, then you got to pay off the district attorney's office for the pimping and the pandering charges if you have a hotel. It's time to leave, guys. Businesses have to get out of here. They got to leave. And that's why I like this, because this is a clarion call. The more people that know about this, the more that are going to pack their bags and leave. They got to get out of this city. Businesses got to get out of the state and go to somewhere with some sanity. People going around and getting TROs with perjury. You can't have that, man. You can't have a city ran like this. So I support this, but make it for 12 weeks. And tell the businesses, you got to leave Los Angeles. If you don't, you might go bankrupt. Simple disclosure. It'll protect the city from future liability. Smart business, and I'm here to offer good solutions.
Thank you, Mr. Spindler. Ms. Hong? I would note, Ms. Hong, there's the request that we adopt this amended based on the acquisition of J-Core Communications Company by iHeartRadio Media.
Yes.
Okay, go ahead, ma'am.
Yes, subsequent to submission of this request, we learned of ownership change of KISS FM. Jacor was doing business as KISS FM, and now it's iHeartRadio who took over. The address, for the record, address is the same, 3400 West Olive Street, suite number 550, Burbank, California, 91505. So we do request that you approve and adopt the motion with the name change to iHeartRadio, and this will also change their BTRC number.
Any questions for Ms. Hong on agenda item number 10? I don't have any questions. I'll make a motion that we adopt agenda item number 10, seconded by Commissioner Rodriguez. Any objection? Without objection, we'll adopt agenda item number 10. Thank you, Ms. Hong. I see you're here on 11, but one moment. Bureau of Contract Administration and Office of Accounting requesting board approval and execution of an authority for expenditure in the amount of $22,262.70 to pay Outfront Media Group, LLC, for bus shelter advertisements for 4 weeks in support of the minimum wage ordinance outreach program. Does Mr. Spindler have any time left, Mr. Jordan?
Mr. President, he has spoken so far for a total of 9 minutes and 30 seconds, leaving him 30 seconds remaining.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Spindler, listed as Mr. Dude, you have a card in on number 11.
Yes, get out of L.A. This is not a place to do business. You better pack your bags today, because L.A. City is ran by the mafia and you need to leave today. They're gonna bankrupt you if you don't pay off the cops and the city attorney. So pack your bags, move your businesses out of L.A. today. You gotta move out of L.A. today.
Thank you, Mr. Spindler. Ms. Hong on number 11.
This last one, AFE, is for the Outfront Media Group, who will be providing 50 bus shelters. They're doing the advertisement for us. The Bureau understands that there are free PSA options available, and we're working on that with Outfront, as well as the paid option here. We just wanted to make sure that we secure 50 spots, guarantee spots, to do the outreach plan.
On the PSAs that are available, the free PSAs that are available, do we have any idea what the scope of that is? Meaning what the availability is, what the capacity is?
Yeah, we don't know that. So we're hoping to get about 100 spots, but we haven't confirmed with Outfront the availability of those spots.
Right. Mr. Jordan, you had indicated it.
I don't have the exact number. I do know that the Bureau of Contract Administration is working with the Bureau of Street Services in Lansuishi, the administrators of the bus shelter contract, to facilitate the use of the city's free PSA advertising space.
Okay.
Yeah, we're working on that.
Thank you. Commissioner Jacinto.
Yes, really quick. You know, the 50 bus shelters, we would hope that, or I would hope that they would be dispersed geographically throughout the city in all the council districts and all the different communities.
Yes, we did inform them that at least maybe 2 to 3 bus shelters will be located in the council districts. So they are charting those locations for us.
Very good. Thank you.
Great, thank you. Any further questions of Ms. Hong on agenda item number 11? Commissioner Jacinto has made a motion that we adopt agenda item number 11, seconded by Commissioner Rodriguez. Any objection? Without objection, we will do so. Thank you, ma'am. Mr. Executive Officer, have we cleared the desk now?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. This meeting is adjourned.